Hi all and welcome. We are going today to see another part of our journey to creating happy, healthy, loving relationships, and it is about healing feminine and masculine patterns and energies. So, this part of the journey is all about letting go of what has not worked properly. That is all kind of unhappy relationships and also all kind of unhealthy and unhappy patterns. Okay, so we are going to work with feminine and masculine energies for a lot of reasons because our energy here on this planet is like dual. We have this kind of energy that are working together, that are feminine and masculine. We can call them this way. And we can see that they play together in a lot of different ways. For example, if we just look inside ourselves, because of course we are working on a relationship with other people uh, which are more feminine or more masculine energy as well. But if we start inside ourselves, we can see that we have both energy, and not just talking in an energetic way, but also looking at our brain is structured. We can see that we have two hemispheres, and one is the left hemisphere that we can associate with the masculine energy, that is the rational one, and the logical one, rational one, and the right hemisphere, that is the most emotional, intuitive one. Okay, this does not mean that for example, men are just in the masculine energy, female are just in the feminine energy, because we have both kind of energy, and gender also is a more complex thing than just male female. But of course we have these two parts, and we need to harmonize them, and also to bring them at the highest level possible, the most loving and harmonic way, so that they can work well together. Okay, and it's amazing because there are a lot of mirrors in this field, because when we have a conflict inside ourselves with this energy, or they are not at their highest level, but they are at a more primitive level, let's say, we normally experience conflict outside as well, with, for example, with other women or with men, or depending on the situation. But if we look at that, and it is very interesting to see when we are trying to overcome and to get to better relationship, how all these aspects mirror, and how they can tell a lot of what is going on. So let's start having a look at this. If you, for example, want to improve your ability to perform, you're feeling good about yourself, or you want to overcome any kind of trauma or conflict inside, most therapy work exactly in this direction. They look at integrating both sides, because when we integrate our emotional side and our rational side, things work much better, and we have much more tools to be happy, to create, and to connect also with other people. And this is what also happening in life, both if we are seeking to connect with a person that is for example On the other side, for example, we are a woman who want to connect in a relationship with a man, but also if we are looking at the relationship with another woman or whatever. I'm starting from here because we are starting to work especially with the feminine energy, but of course this is valid for everybody. So what we are going to do is try to have a look at our feminine energy and our masculine energy, and to see how we can improve and we can bring them to a more loving level. Okay, of course, this is such a huge topic, so interesting, and we can do a lot of processes, a lot of healing, and really get to huge results through these processes. But let's start with the very simple things. And for example, we can just start today just making a kind of check-in with ourselves, and we will continue on this topic because there are so many aspects that we can see. Let's try and have a look, for example, on our masculine energy and masculine side, which is all about rationality, order, limits, boundaries, practical aspect, what is logical, what you can measure, what is reasonable, okay, is about aspect like law, about rights, about boundaries. It's also about order, discipline. It's also about all the technology, for example. Okay, and for to see how our energy, masculine energy, is at this moment, we can just start having a look, and we can, for example, take a piece of paper or a notebook and start writing on this and have a look how at this moment is my masculine energy working. Okay, for example, am I at peace? Am I in harmony with all this aspect of organization, of order, of discipline, of boundaries, of technology? Okay, all this aspect. Am I living in harmony with this side, or am I in a kind of conflict? For example, do I struggle with with some of these aspects? Okay, and let's try to have a look on this. Okay, and we can write down, for example, today at this moment, make like a kind of a photo or picture. How is my situation with my masculine energy? Okay. And we can take a moment to write about this if we want. Okay. And then we can also have a look on our feminine energy. How is that? Our feminine side, okay, that is connected also to our right brain, is all about emotions, connection, also really connected to unconscious energy, is the creative side. Okay, so and is yes, what help us to create this connection with other people, and is really really important in our relationships. Okay, because it's the basis for our empathy. Okay, for the deep connection. Of course, we need both sides functioning well, because maybe we are a very empathetic person, and we get into deep connection, but maybe we have some block on our masculine side, so we are not able to set healthy boundaries, for example. So both sides are important for our relationships, right? So we can have a look as well at this part, and we can write down how we feel Okay, and how we observe this side is working in our life. For example, do we feel our emotion flows easily, or have we trouble connecting with the more emotional side? And is our intuition open? Are we able to connect with other people? Are we able to easily read their energy? That is, understanding what's going on with them, to have an easy exchange with the other people on the emotional side. So we can write down all these aspects, and also notice if we have some kind of blocks. Okay. Hmm? And we are going to start with this step, just a self check-in. So next time, with the next video, if you you're willing to go a little deeper, we are going to also start activating some process, okay, to bring more energy, and to start releasing some of the blocks we can have on both sides. It's also quite common that if one of our sides is not in balance, there is something that affects the other part as well, because it's quite difficult to have a perfect balanced feminine side and a very complicated masculine side, because they are all the time interconnected, and if there is any kind of imbalance on one side, it come to the other side as well. So for example, you can be a very empathetic person, a really intuitive woman, for example, or really intuitive person, and have all this natural gift, but you have a big block on the masculine side. What happens is that also this size get a bit in trouble. Okay, so speaking about the relationship, your relationship are going to suffer in a way that is, maybe you have very nice connection, and you experience very nice friendships or relationship, but there is some point that when you get there, you get a little bit into trouble. For example, you are not able to set loving and healthy boundaries in your relationship, or you are not able to just sometime think about what's going on, mixing this thinking process to the emotional process in order to have a nice view of the real situation. Or, for example, if you have this block on the masculine side, you very commonly will experience trouble in the relationship with men, okay, because your masculine energy is just in a conflict. So when you get in contact with a stronger masculine energy, that is what is normally present in men, you are getting into more trouble, because you struggle connecting with this kind of energy. I'm simplifying, I know, because as I said, gender is a more complex topic, but it's just to give an idea. And it's true for any kind of gender, anyway, that we deal with these two energy. Okay, and in any case, we need to yield them at our best, and to express them at our best, and at their more loving potential. Okay, this is what we are going to work towards. So this is our work for today. And if you are open to that, we can already invite some healing energy. Okay, you can, it's a really simple and natural process, nothing exoteric, nothing strange, but it's just opening up to our higher self, to our higher potential, and inviting this energy, this loving and wise energy, and inviting this to balance this energy, to upgrade it to a higher, level of awareness, okay, and to let go of old patterns, old programming, and understanding, just the feeling and understanding that the real nature of both masculine and feminine energy is love, and they are just a complementary expression of this energy of love, and that anything else is just a kind of trap. We can fall into this kind of trap that are old patterns, okay, and that are limiting us. And we are going to go deeper in next live, but we just are going to see a little bit of a clue of that, because during our history we have experienced a lot of expression of this energy, feminine and masculine, and in many cases we are evolving. We have in our own energy, in our own brain, in our own cells, we have the experience that all humankind and more has made through time. And so we have also the experience of some, we can call them mistakes, but they are just experiences, or they are just stages of evolution in which our feminine and masculine energy have expressed themselves in ways that were not serving our highest good. I mean, in simple words, we were expressing masculine energy, or were expressing ourselves as women, or we were expressing our masculine energy, both if we are women or men, in ways that were driven more by our ego, by our survival mechanism, by the part of our brain that is just about survival, okay. And for this reason, we were focused more about dominating the situation, controlling, and yes, basically dominating and controlling. And what we can find is that when both masculine or feminine energy are more about control, we cannot really open up to love. And what happened is that our experience relationships with ourselves and with others is more limited and is more frustrating, because if I want to control or dominate, my masculine or feminine energy has different strategies and different forms of expressing this level, but both of them are on a level of survival, we can say. And when we upgrade both energy, both our masculine and feminine energy, to their highest level, of course, we may have to do some steps. It's not just one from a day to another, but it's an evolutionary process. But the more we are alienated with this loving vibration, what happened is that we are happier, okay, and we start developing within ourselves that is healthy, happy, and loving. We feel at peace. We are not making war inside, and our brain is not making war, okay. So I can say that women start with some points in their favor, that our brain is more is strong, our emotional side is stronger. This is our trait, but this is not just the only aspect, because feminine brain is also more connected. The two hemispheres are more connected, and so we already have something that is an advantage, that we can it's easier for us to make both sides communicate, and this is really, really important, okay. And Yes, this is also something that seems that translated to the male-female word. Sometimes we heard, or many times we heard that the female seems to be the ones that start, some kind of conversation. They start to make the two kind of energy communicate normally. Why? Because it's easier for us, because we are both sides of the brain more connected. Okay, we are not talking, we are not saying that men are inferior, but because they have a point in which they are really strong and stronger, and energy is really nice and powerful, and they also have the same challenge, that if they stay in the more primitive vibration and the more primitive evolutionary stage, they are a bit stuck, because, well, I'm going to, to say the last things about this, then we are going deeper on next slide. But for example, I will give you just a little examples of feminine and masculine energy that are not on their loving expression, but are in their controlling and dominating expression or illusion, I will say, because yes, this is a vision that is always much more limited. Okay, so for example, one historical expression of masculine energy in this dominating stage is the harem. These spaces where these men had a lot of women, and they dominated them because the women were slave, in history, and well, in history, mostly in history, and they were slave, and they were, there was no a right correspondence, because there were a man that had a lot of women at his disposal. So why I'm mentioning this? Because this is something that is in our collective subconscious, in our cells, is still clearing completely. For some people, they are totally into another energy. For some other, they are still, they're still finishing to evolve through that experience, and the manifestation in our world, in our society. Well, there are many different society. Let's talk about our society that we know from near. This can express itself, for example, in this triangulation. Okay, that is this creating a competition among women to feel power. Okay, this is a very not evoluted energy, very primitive. But we still can see some of this, even if we don't have harem, in our society. Officially, we don't have any of that. And on the other side, this memory is also interesting. On the other side, on the feminine energy, how many times you can see women in a competition, and you say, why are you competing so hard, so strong? Why you need to, to put yourself up, and to try to demonstrate that you are better than another one, and you used all this mechanism, is because in your subconscious is getting activated this triangulation from the RM model, in a way. This is what I get, is a lot of this that I express. I am also a sociologist, but I'm also an intuitive coach and healer, and so I put these two sides of my brain into connection. So I get a lot of information through my studies, through my research, but I also get a lot of that through my intuition. So it's very nice when you put both sides into communication, because you are not just living in your intuitive side, but also you're opening up the other side, the more scientific, you're putting that into communication, and that is very interesting what you got. What I get, and of course you have to see your experience if it resonates with you more or less, or but is that when we can add in a lot of moments, if we are not aware and we don't make our healing an evolutionary process, we can add based on past roots, past patterns, and subconscious patterns. So you have in your subconscious all that you have. If you believe in, I don't know, in past lives, you can relate that to your past life. If you don't believe in that, it's totally fine. You can connect that to your atavic memories. That is. In your subconscious, you have memories that are connected with your ancestor, so you get this this flash to this feeling, this way of seeing things. So what happens is that what we want to do through this process we are going through in order to get happy, healthy, loving relationship is getting aware of all that stuff, is embracing it, saying, okay, this is part of my history, or the history of my soul, or the history of my ancestor, is human history. So I'm a part of that. And now, here and now, I'm going to look at that, embrace that. That is, I'm not going to denial and say, no, I'm not I have nothing to do with that, because the more I accept what is going on inside, the easier is to overcome, to transform. Of course, we can call this higher energy, that is our higher self, more evolved self, our spiritual source. And we talk about at the beginning, that is as you conceive it, this higher energy, the universe, God, your higher self, your spirit, whatever, that is helping us upgrade our energy, and realizing that when we are not vibrating in a loving energy, that is an higher vibrational energy, we are vibrating on self-affirmation, on that is not believing that we are already in our power, but we need to show up our power, because we feel powerless, and we try to affirm our power, in ways that are dominating over others. For example, when we are in that energy, normally we don't get fulfilled in the relationship side, because nobody really likes to be manipulated, dominated, maybe they can stay in a game for a while, but it's not what our heart truly wants, right? It's not something that make our relationship grows. So for example, now we make an example of the harem partner, okay, that is someone, a male figure trying to dominate female figure, looking at them as something to control, to possess, to show his power through that, also his sexual power through that. And the complementary side of a female getting into this kind of game and feeling they have to compete and they have to get the attention on them, and accepting a position more, most important, accepting a position in which they are not on the same level. It's not a balanced thing. So this is an example. On the other side, on the female energy, we can see an example in history of this expression that is not at its best potential. That is when women, for example, that are natural energy healers, and they are very intuitive, they use this natural gift not to heal, not in their expression as healers, natural healers, but for example to manipulate. Okay, So you can call it as you like, but is a way of energy manipulation, that is in this case also the goal is not creating love, true love and abundance for everybody, to create health, to create healthy relationship, but the goal comes from this primitive brain again, that thinks that if we dominate, we are we feel better. No, it's not true. Okay, it's an illusion, and we can experience that everybody we get in that track, we end disappointed, really, because it doesn't work. Okay. um so it's like the witch in the movie, that at the end is always disappointed because she feels she can't control situation, but because the energy we send out in the world, first of all, it permeates our energetic field. So if I want to dominate, if I feel hate, I feel anger, what I send it out, but I don't maybe I don't realize that this energy is first of all permeating my energy field. So then I feel very heavy, very unhappy, very all the time in struggle. Why? Because I'm choosing the energy that is not supporting my happiness. Yeah, because our ego never serve our happiness. It serve our survival, and it comes from fear. So just to finish up, the feminine energy as well can express itself in this manipulative way, like the witch, okay, towards male in energy and towards other females. And in both cases, this energy does not build happy relationships. Okay, maybe build some kind of alliance, with the also a perverse masculine energy. They both alliate, or with other distorted feminine energy, some kind of alliance, but it's not a true love in a relationship. So we are going to get aware more and more. So if you want to use your notebook or your uh, what you are using to write down, you can we have done a very long live today, but because this topic is so big, we can start writing down what do you feel about all these things, and most important, if you can comment, okay, what were your biggest takeaway of all that we have seen today, or what is your point of view, your experience on this? This is very, very interesting, okay, so we can see each other. And if you like to see more live, you can comment below, and I can add you to our free Facebook group. And we are also going to have a live event, 5 days, a free event on healing codependency and creating happy, healthy, loving relationship. And you will have access to a lot of also gift and giveaways, and a lot of training and coaching on that. And you're very welcome to our community. So this is all for today, and thank you for being here. And please comment with your experience and your takeaways. And you can also go live if you are already in a group, in our Facebook group. You can go live. Please go and share your experience on this. Thank you, and we will meet soon.